Adventures of Sharkboy Lavagirl was written and directed by Robert Rodriguez, who made the Spy Kids franchise, and this movie stars Taylor Lautner, Taylor Dooley, and Caden Boyd, which all I know, and George Lopez, by the way. This movie came out June 2005, and it's been a while since I watched it. But I rewatched it, and this is an awful movie. Well, no offense, but let's talk about it. In this movie, we have so in this movie we have our main character named Max, who's played by Keaton Boyd, who that nobody really likes him is because I'm talking about like his classmates. His classmates are putting hate on him because everything that Max written in his dream journal, he just written on he's writing all these things, and he's like, oh, you know what I did for the summer? I spent time with Sharkboy and Lavagirl all summer long, and most of his classmates don't believe him. They don't believe him because Sharkboy and Lavagirl are not real. They're just fake. They're just characters in a dream or something like that. And he created these characters in this dream journal. He called one of them Sharkboy, and he named one of them Lavagirl. Everything that he created in his dream journal, he's telling all these classmates. He's like, for what he did for the summer, and nobody believes him. And George Lopez explains his teacher like, what do y'all think of Max's dream or something like that? Oh, it's boring. Yeah, it's boring. It's ridiculous. It's just childish. So yeah, he does get picked on in school a lot. Nobody, because most of his classmates don't like him until one of the bullies, his bully, whose name Linus, who picks on him, and um and then also afterwards that day when the tornado ended up happening, Sharkboy and Lava Girl appears. When they both appeared to pick up Max, who's when they went to go pick up Max is because Max created these characters in his dream journal. So Sharkboy and Lava Girl are real because Sharkboy is played by Taylor Lautner, and Taylor Dooley who plays Lava Girl. When they take Max into this another planet called Planet Drool, because all these things, because everything is being ruined or something like that in his dream, because all these dreams that he's whatever he's doing. So Sharkboy and Lava Girl like takes them on these and crazy adventures until they meet Mr. Electric, played by George, who's also played by George Lopez, and we have all these characters from his real world end up as other characters in Planet Drool. So Sharkboy and Lava Girl has to help Max on these adventures to complete probably his journey and probably save the world. This movie is it's just too much to explain about the plot for this movie. So, did I enjoy this movie? I still love this movie, but it's a kids movie, so I don't even know. But the only thing I didn't really like, so this film is not really giving you enough, but we did have an opening scene of Sharkboy's origin story, which didn't really make no sense. We didn't get Lava Girl's backstory. I mean, I'm like, wait a second, where's Lava Girl's backstory? We all got Shark Boys. Where's Lava Girl's? Lava Girl didn't get a backstory, which really does suck. I mean, Shark Boy had a backstory in the movie. I mean, where's Lava Girl's? What? This movie does suck. So this is by far one of the worst films I watched. This movie is probably way worse than this movie can be way worse than Spy Kids, with no offense. I mean, this is a movie like this, kids can enjoy and entertain by it, but the adults are just like, not really. I mean, the only issues with this film that the characters are not being fleshed out. I mean, we do get more screen time with Sharkboy and Lava Girl, which is a plus, but I feel like this movie is mostly about Max, because the Adventures of Sharkboy and Lava Girl, I feel like this movie is mostly about Max the entire movie, because I feel like Max is played by Keaton Boyd, who's trying to make everything about him in this movie, because it is about him. This movie is kind of like watching Spider-Man. It's like watching Spider-Man. Peter Parker gets picked on in school. Nobody likes him because he's the smart kid. But with this movie, It's just, Max gets bullied, teased, picked on by his classmates and his bully Linus. Um, so this because his dream journal that really means to him, and I was like, Max, all the stuff that you created, I don't think anybody's gonna believe you. Because all these things that he sees, he's like, Sharkboy and Lavagirl are here. Oh, they're not real. Oh, now they're real. So, Planet Drool, I mean, why? This movie does remind me of a video game because in Planet Drool, the CGI looks more like a video game. This looks more like, it's kind of like a ripoff of Spy Kids Game Over. I mean, I feel like they a little bit kind of copied off of Spy Kids Game Over. I mean, this is like watching the first movie between the third film all into one. I mean, I don't know what the movie studios were thinking of making a movie like this, but I'm not gonna say anything stupid about it. I mean, it ain't gonna be much. So for this movie review, it ain't gonna be nothing much to say about this movie because it's been a long time since I've seen it. So we get Taylor Lautner from the Twilight films. I mean, come on, what are you doing in this movie? Playing Shark Boy. I mean, I really enjoyed him as Shark Boy. I think he did okay playing Shark Boy. His performance is fine. I mean, Shark Boy is like always in a terrible mood. Basically Taylor Lautner in this movie. I feel like I don't know how old was he in this movie. I feel like he's like 12, 13 years old in this movie. I was like, he looks a little 12ish. No, I take that back. I think to me in this movie he looks a little like 13 years old in this movie, including he was in Cheaper by the Dozen too, and and mostly he did a really good, the only movies that he did really good in was the Twilight movies. I mean, he did really good in the Twilight films, but with this movie, I don't know what he's doing in this movie, but I don't want to blame him. I mean, for him to be Shark Boy, I think he did fine as Shark Boy, and Taylor Dooley as Lava Girl. I mean, okay, she did fine in the movie. I mean, I love the music score when it's just like the Lava Girl music score. I love that music score, and I was like, this music score is just the same thing. I mean, and Caden Boyd as Max. I feel like he's like a Peter. I think he's kind of like act like Peter Parker, who gets picked on in school sometimes, but it doesn't really make a difference for him to act. He acts a little bit like Peter Parker without being Spider Man. I mean, he's not really like Spider Man. Like he has super strength. I mean, he's just a normal kid who gets picked on in school. I mean, I feel bad for I always do feel bad for Max when he gets picked on by his classmates, except for one person. I mean, one of his classmates actually likes him. I mean, and George Lopez is all like, "Don't worry, Max. Max, one day, you and Linus are gonna be friends." No. I mean, the actor who plays Linus. I don't know any of these. I know some of the actors in this movie. I mean, except for some of them. So the actor who played Linus is just a bully in this movie. I mean, he's just a bully. He's kind of like Flash. He kind of reminds me of Flash from Spider-Man. He's just like, Parker, Parker, I'm gonna get you, Parker. And Max is all like, oh boy. And then this is something different. Linus is all like, give me your dream journal, or you'll visit the dream world. I mean, this scene in the movie when there's a scene in this movie when Linus and his buddies are chasing after Max to get that dream journal. He's like, get the book. Like, what is that? What are you doing? You're just doing this. That really annoys me. And then also there's one scene in this movie when after when Linus there's a scene in this movie what Linus did this summer. I mean, Linus talked about, I call him Dork Boy, which he's talking about Max, and I think they do call him Dream Boy in this movie mostly, but I mean the villains in this movie. I mean, for him to be who's called Minus, who's also played by the same actor who plays Linus in this movie, I'm like, wait a second. Let me get this straight. We get George Lopez. So let me get this straight. So we get George Lopez, who plays two characters. He plays Mr. Electric in Planet Drool. In the real world, he plays Mr. Electrify or something like that. or Mr. Electra died. Whatever. Well, I don't even know. And we get the same actor who played Linus, who plays Minus in Planet's role. His female classmate, who actually likes him, who I forgot the girl's name in the movie. I mean, I forgot her character's name. And she plays some kind of ice princess in this movie who has guards as ice. He's made of ice cubes. Who ha I'm like, wait, what? I mean, these adventures in this movie is just too much. Sometimes it's too much going on. I mean, Max's parents are really good in this movie. I mean, I really like Max's parents in the movie. I mean, they don't bother me at all in this film. I mean, when you see a movie like this, the CGI looks animation. The CGI looks a little bit like a video, like it's like you're playing a video game. Like say you're playing Grand Theft Auto or playing Spider-Man, the Spider-Man PS4 game. I'm like, what is this? This movie is more like a ripoff. My only issues with this movie, this is more like a ripoff of Spy Kids 3 Game Over. I mean, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, like Sharkboy is kind of like Junie, and Lavagirl is kind of like Carmen, and I'm like, what is this? I mean, I don't know what kind of movie this is. I mean, I know this is a kids movie. I mean, kids are gonna enjoy it. Say a kid watches this movie and say a kid is like 8 years old or 7 years old. They would enjoy this. They would love this movie. I mean, we are getting another. And speaking of Sharkboy and Lava Girl, I heard when I was on YouTube one time, I heard that we are getting another Sharkboy and Lava Girl movie. Well, we are getting a Sharkboy Lava Girl sequel, which is this one is called We Can Be Heroes or something like that. I mean, this movie is gonna be called We Can Be Heroes. We'll introduce Sharkboy and Lava Girl as an adult. I mean, I think they might bring back Taylor Lautner as Sharkboy and bring Taylor Dooley back as Lava Girl. I mean, that would be cool if they were back in the movie. I'm like, why can't they just be called Sharkboy and Lava Girl 2? We Can Be Heroes or whatever. I mean, which means I believe Sharkboy and Lava Girl could have kids. We don't know yet, but this movie, I still love this movie. I mean, but this is a childhood favorite movie. I still support this movie, but I can't just don't understand because the characters are not being cared enough. I mean, Max is the only character that's probably taken over the entire film from Sharkboy and Lava Girl. With the Adventures of Sharkboy and Lava Girl, I feel like Max is taking over the entire film because I feel like this movie is mostly focusing more about him instead of focusing more about Sharkboy and Lava Girl themselves. But I can't blame the movie for anything. I mean, not to blame the actors, but the actors did okay with this movie, but the actors are really terrible. Sometimes their performance is terrible. Yeah, their performance is bad. It's not really looking so well. I mean, what they could have done with the animation is make it more like a real life like what they could have done with this movie is make it more like it's kind of like you're watching Transformers. They made them more like CGI real life robots. Why didn't they do the same thing with this movie? I mean, I think they do. I think they're gonna do the same thing with the next Sharkboy and Lava Girl movie. I mean, since I heard they're coming out with a sequel for it, and I was like, cool. And I mean, there's nothing much to say about this movie. I mean, the action is pretty bad. The action sequences, the adventures is just terrible. I mean, just too much subplots in this movie sometimes. There's too many characters going on. I mean, this one scene I did not like is Sharkboy singing the dream song. I mean, that really starts to bother me. So that really did bother me. Mostly, like I said, the action is not pretty good. The production with this movie could have done better. They could have done better with this entire movie. I mean, like I said, this is kind of like a rip-off of Spy Kids Game Over a little bit. Not even close, but kind of close. But, I mean, the special effects is bad. I mean, you can't even see what's going on. You can't even see what the movie is basically telling. It's like really giving a message. I mean, this movie's supposed to give you a message of... This movie's not really giving a message of have you been picked on in school or where you call names or something like that because of that. I mean, The villains in this movie are awful. I don't like the villains. The villains don't do a really good job. I mean, I don't like the villains. They didn't really do much. I mean, they didn't do a lot. Like say, hey, I'm gonna rule planet Earth, or I'm gonna rule planet Drool all into one. But I mean, why? I mean, the villains did not make any sense. I mean, having George Lopez playing two characters, one from Planet Drool, the other one from Planet Earth, didn't make any sense. Linus, same thing, playing Minus. The Yeah, same thing. It's just not making any sense sometimes. But I mean, that's all I gotta say for this movie review. Nothing much to say because the characters are awful sometimes. I mean, I can't stand this movie sometimes. I mean, the 3D. This movie was basically in 3D, like Spy Kids 3 was. I mean, like I said, this movie did a good job with the 3D. I love the 3D. They did a really good job with the 3D. I mean, that's one of the only thing I enjoy about the film. The 3D that was in theaters. So there's nothing much to say about this movie anyway. So I mean, this movie was fine. I mean, I still love this movie, but to my opinion, it's fine. It's okay. I mean, Robert Rodriguez could have done better than not making this film at all. I mean, I'm just saying, with all due respect, though. I mean, if you're a big, I'm still a big fan of this movie. I mean, if you're a big fan of Sharkboy Lavagirl, I mean, I'm just saying. So that's nothing much to say about this movie review anyway. So that's all I gotta say for this review. So be sure to like and subscribe, press the notification button. Excuse me, follow me on Instagram and comment down below. And I'll see you on my next video. And thank you for watching.